Before I say anything, I need to be very clear with you that everything you hear on the internet as far as will Becerra or will Becerra not appeal the Duncan versus Becerra case that challenges PC 32-3110 on California's high-capacity magazine ban, it's all speculation. Nobody knows for certain if he's going to appeal or if he's not going to appeal. And in fact, it doesn't seem like it's even certain that on the 28th we will either be able to or not be able to on that day. There is a lot more to it, and we're going to discuss that today. I have a little bit of insider info that I'm going to share with you guys. I can't necessarily share my source at all, but we'll talk about that in just a second. Before I do, I want to say thank you to the sponsor of this channel, Franklin Armory. They've been a huge supporter in the past. They've sent me out some guns. They've been a huge supporter of Second Amendment rights nationally and in California specifically with their Title I lawsuits, which is very cool. I'm very happy to have that. They got their full line of AR-15 pistols on the California roster, which is awesome. They also got their binary triggers for those of you in a free state. So let's talk about this specific court case, Duncan versus Becerra, which challenges California Penal Code 32-310, the ban on possession, essentially, of high-capacity magazines. Now, previously, it was not legal to buy, sell, import, manufacture, or keep for sale a large-capacity magazine, as the state referred it. The Prop 63, I believe it was, put into effect a removing of the grandfather clause. There was no official grandfather clause. It just wasn't illegal to own a high capacity or a large capacity magazine, as the state referred to it. The court case is specifically challenging just that, and people need to really understand the fact that it's not necessarily going to have sweeping implications everywhere across the nation, but it can be used in the future if this is favorable or unfavorable as a reason to argue for or against any potential future Ninth Circuit court case. If this goes up to the Supreme Court and is decided one way or the other, that could then have national precedent, but it won't necessarily immediately stop every state from having a mag ban. They might have to put their own challenges forward and say, hey, we don't think that this law is constitutional because previous court cases have determined that this type of mag ban is unconstitutional. Now that gets into the topic of discussion today of will Becerra actually appeal this? Because the implications of taking this case further, if they choose to go to a 3-judge or a full 9-judge panel on the Ninth Circuit, I believe it is, or is it 11? If they go to full en banc, full panel of judges for the Ninth Circuit, or if they go to Supreme Court and they lose, the implication is that they ruin the ability for magazine bans to be put in effect anywhere across the nation, which is huge. So there's a lot tying into that. I have a source who I can't name. I can't even say specifically what he does, but I need to assure you that it's a source that I trust that is telling me that Becerra is telegraphing or Becerra is putting off opinions or feelings and implying to some people that he might not actually make the appeal. So what does that mean? So right now there is a stay on the decision that was made by Benitez. Benitez made a decision saying it's unconstitutional. He then put a stay on it after it was requested. It went to the 3-judge panel with the 3 judges, Lee, Callahan, and Lynn. It was determined 2-1 that it was unconstitutional, but the stay is still in effect pending any sort of further appeals. So until everything is resolved and it's officially done, that stay is still in effect. So we have that sort of rumor or this sort of opinion that, you know, Becerra might not appeal. I honestly think that he is going to appeal it just because this is an anti-gun case. It's really just a big conversation of, do they risk it? Do they not risk it? Do they think they actually can do it? So it's kind of a tough conversation. I'm going to leave a link to a CalGuns thread, which has a lot of excellent conversation. One of the key points that they talk about is the fact that even after the 28th, the judges on the Ninth Circuit have the ability to appeal it even further. They can request that en banc themselves, or they can request that 3-judge panel to rehear it, which I'm going to leave this link from Mitchell & Associates, or MitchellLawyers.com. They got their en banc petition process, so they can basically, you can read through this and kind of get an idea. So if we look at the first step, you know, the 3-judge panel makes a decision. Now, losing party must file a petition for rehearing or a rehearing en banc within 14 days after the panel. Now, if the party files a petition for rehearing and or rehearing en banc, the judges have 21 days from that period of time to either do nothing, stop the clock for a 14-day extension period of time, ask the original 3-judge panel as to whether they want to rehear the case, or call for an en banc vote. Now, if they choose to do nothing, the petition is rejected. The original 3-judge panel issues an order denying the petition, meaning that it's basically over at that point. If any judge stops the clock, meaning that they have that 14-day extension, it can either go that same route of nothing happens, or any non-panel judge makes a 5.4b notice request. So from this point where they make that petition, if judges do nothing, it's that point. But if any of the panel judge or any of the non-panel judges, meaning any other judge in the Ninth Circuit, says they want to make a request, if any non-panel judge makes a 5.4b notice to request the original 3-judge panel, the panel has a maximum of 90 days from that point to request or the petition, whichever is later, to inform the non-panel judges whether the panel wants to rehear the case themselves or not. So basically, first step, decision. Second step, there's a period of time where either the judges involved or the people applying or the Becerra's office actually files an appeal. If the judges do nothing and the non-panel judges do nothing, that's it, it's over. They can file a 14-day extension, meaning that from the 28th, we might wait another 14 days to hear anything. Or any non-judge panel or any non-panel judge could make a request to actually rehear it. And then that would be a maximum of 90 days for them to respond to that decision. If the 3-judge panel chooses to rehear the case, we start back over. Basically, we're starting back over. If the 3-judge panel chooses not to rehear the case, if the panel does not want to rehear the case, any non-panel judge can call for an en banc vote within 14 days after receipt of the 5.4b notice, 21 days after the petition for a rehearing and/or a rehearing en banc, or 14 days after the circulation of the party response if one has already been called for, whichever is later. A judge may stop the clock for a 14-day extension only if that has not been done before. So if on the 28th there is no 14-day extension at this point here where the 3-judge panel chooses not to rehear it, there may be another 14-day extension. If judges do not call for an en banc vote within the time frame, the petition is rejected. If any judge, active or senior, calls for an en banc vote, a judge calling for an en banc vote must forward a memorandum to the other judges setting forth the reasons for rehearing an en banc within 14 days of the en banc call or 14 days circulating of the party response. I'm just going to go ahead and cut it off there because I can feel myself starting to roll my head in the back of my eye, or my eyes into the back of my head, and I can just feel you guys in the future already being tired of listening to me talk. So just to get the point across, this is a long process. While I have my hopes up, based on some of the sources that I have, that he might not appeal it and that it might just die on the 28th, I would not be holding your breath. Don't expect excellent news, or maybe feel free to maybe be hopeful of good news, but I would not be holding your breath that anything good is going to happen. This is going to be a long process, people. Batten down the hatches, take a good breath of air, make sure you got your scuba equipment. We're going to be drowning in unconstitutional laws for a little bit. It's just how it is. Whether you choose to comply with the law, I really don't care. That's not me. I'm not giving you legal advice. None of this is legal advice. But you need to understand that this isn't going to be a fast process. The court cases are slow. The court system is slow. That's just the way of the current system. Don't hold your breath. Stay hopeful. That's really all I got to say. If you have any questions, if you want to have comments down below, please do so. I'm going to leave links to both the CalGuns thread and the PowerPoint of the presentation of how this might work, the appeal process. So let's have those conversations down below. I'll have those links in the description or a pinned comment or something. But yeah, I hope this was helpful for you guys. I hope this kind of gives a little bit of a conversation point to have. Really, while I am hopeful, I'm not holding my breath. Keep following the law if you choose to. And if you choose not to, that's on you, not on me, brother. I don't care. It ain't me. It ain't my life. You guys know the drill. Have fun, be safe, stay dangerous. Peace. Oh, by the way, I got a subscribe star if you want to support me on there. I got an OnlyFans if you want to support me on there. You guys know the drill. Thank you. I love you all. Peace.